Another video?
Another one.
Oh,
Hi, everybody.
happy Friday. I'm confused with the days a little bit now.
We did well last week.
We did really well.
Last week.
We knew the days, and happy Friday, and welcome to Live from Rats from inside a very dark, empty,
Dreary almost right now.
Not really as quiet today.
Yeah, a little bit of action
We
going
have
on.
repairman in the bar.
We had a little meeting.
Arturo, Marco, and Tina are here today, serving up pizza. I mean, it's Friday, so it's Pizza Friday.
Friday is pizza day.
So if you're in the mood for your pizza, delivery and takeout, Caldoneros, Zeppelis, calzones, rolls. I mean, Arturo's
Tuesday
ready to
is
rock and roll.
Tuesday is Prince Spaghetti Day. Friday is pizza day.
Yes.
That just goes to show you how old I am.
Yes. Spaghetti day. And you're right. And it's also Friday. It's Friday and it's also Bingo Friday. So welcome to the party. Hey, Naz. Today, not only is it Friday, not only is it episode 85.
That's crazy, isn't it?
95 in this quarantine because of all this crap happening around us.
Yep.
Phase 2 is going to start Monday. But today is our dear friend Sadie's 101st birthday.
Sadie!
Happy birthday, Sadie. This is Stephanie Rourke's grandmother.
She doesn't look a day over
Sadie, I love
50.
you. I miss you. Happy birthday. 101.
That's a lot. That's a big number.
I feel like with a Today Show.
We should get like a bowling pin.
A bowling pin. Not the Welch's.
No, not the Smuckers.
Smuckers.
No Smuckers. No, it would be a bowling pin with the. We should do that.
How cute does she look? She's got her sash and her crown. 101. I don't think I'm going to be. It's not in the cards for me. 101. You never know.
You can't think that. You have to put good things out into the universe.
It's not in the cards. I mean, it's just not. That means that we're going to be stuck with Stephanie. So she's at least 101.
But it's gonna be long distance because she's.
It'll be long distance for sure. 101. Her poor kids that certainly have to deal with that. So happy birthday, Sadie.
Happy birthday, Sadie.
Hope you have a wonderful day with your family. All cooped up in the house with everyone and Skittles. And Skittles. Hey, I want to know, does Skittles know how? I know Skittles can talk, and I know Skittles can say hello. But can he say can we train him to say happy birthday? Who knew? I mean, you don't know. Skittles can learn new things. Why don't we put the cosmic lights on? Oh God, we'll be if we weren't getting high a little bit from this diffuser episode.
Right. Dennis Constantino said she was here for the first pandemic. The Spanish flu, you're right. She was. That was 1917, right? She's been around.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, she was there, but not knowing, you know what I mean?
Well,
she was.
You don't know what she was wearing.
4?
You don't know.
Crazy. Pandemics. Here we are today.
Something new.
Hopefully phase 4 is not far. We're looking forward to welcoming
right around the corner
all of you
because
and seeing you and being excited.
Yeah.
1919 she was born.
Oh, so she was a baby.
Yeah, it's 2020, Nez.
I know it's 21.
Yeah,
20.
I'm just saying it's 2020. 100 years ago, it wouldn't have been 19. Would you say 13?
I didn't say. Oh, I said she was the first flu was 1917.
Okay, right.
So 1919. He's correcting me.
There you go.
It was 1919.
1919.
All right. So now we got that all straightened out. Okay, that's good. What else we got for today?
Are you going to be 101?
Listen, I have strong genes in my family.
You do?
My great-grandma lived to be 101, and my mom is still kicking. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to a ripe old age.
My condolences to Naz, Leslie, and Ray for having to put up with this for the rest of your lives, potentially.
They could be doing worse.
Without a doubt. Well, happy Friday. I'm excited. It's Friday. It's just the end of the week. we're getting closer to enjoying outdoor dining here in New York City.
Which would be exciting.
It'll be exciting to support our small businesses that have been there through all of this. And I have to say, each day seeing photos and the creativity of what's happening has been great. Who's putting up tents and new tables and
different seating arrangements.
Maybe some of them had the opportunity to truly invest back in their businesses. Now others haven't. Yeah. A couple of new restaurants are popping up.
It's an odd time to think about opening up a restaurant, but I guess if you got the money sunk in and the sooner you get going, the sooner.
Right up the block here,
you're going to be
top of Buell Avenue with the old Mario's. I mean, he's going to be open. It looks like he's going to be open on Monday.
Okay, because I've been seeing
outdoor seating down there. He's got a rooftop bar.
Yeah, he's got that nice rooftop.
It looks really nice, and all new glass doors that open up. So I mean, it's kind of the in-out type situation. We'll see. Hopefully, I wish you all the best. So today we have a special guest.
He's special. He is special.
He is. And so we started the week off with, I don't know if Mike knows this, but we started the week off with Coach Wacky on Monday. So a little St. John's. We had a little flavor of St. John's all week, and here we are.
Right back at it.
Right back at it with a St. John's alumni. Let's bring our guest in, the one and only Mike Fagan, who's dubbing himself today as, wait for it, just Fagan. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Hey, Frank. Happy Friday. Hey, Naz. How's it going? I am special. I appreciate that. I don't know what type of special. I mean, there's different ranges of special.
And you know what?
I'll take it.
Interpret that in however you feel is appropriate.
No. Hey, so how are you, Emily, and the baby holding up over there?
Yeah.
We are doing well. We're hanging in there. The baby is doing great. He's walking all over the place. So we're trying to just keep him under wraps, lock everything down, and we're just living life. Our life, believe it or not, hasn't changed a whole lot because we have an infant and we weren't leaving the house much anyway. But it would be nice to go to a restaurant once in a while. So hopefully we'll get back to that.
Yeah. So what? So where are you?
Yes.
Right. Where are you right now?
I am in St. Paul, Minnesota.
And what you guys have started opening? Right, restaurants and the bowling centers are open.
Yep, we were kind of fast tracked. Originally, the previous plan was there wasn't a date around it. It was more so like, well, we'll get to phase 4 at some point, but we're not going to tell you when. But then, after everything that ensued, and the kind of push, the numbers were going in the right direction, so they pushed us to open, and we're at limited capacity right now. I think it's about 25%, but we're kind of just taking the training wheels off again and getting back in the thick of things, and we're opening little by little.
All right, so New Yorker moved west. Now you're
back in the middle.
You're back in the middle. So what I want you to share, because I don't know if many people know what you're up to these days. What brought you to St. Paul?
I am working with a company with Robbie Spigner. He came aboard and purchased a handful of bowling centers here in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. So I'm working as director of business development for the company, and I will say, as a former professional bowler, I had no idea what actually went into the operations of a bowling center. So I give you guys a lot of credit. I'm living through it now. It's a hectic life, but I'm enjoying it. We're making a lot of good progress, and we bit off a lot with 10 centers, but we're making a lot of really good strides.
Yeah, so 10 centers, and you guys, how many months now prior to this did you guys truly get fully functioning with the 10 centers? It hasn't been that long.
Right.
Year?
Yeah, a little over a year. Yeah, about 18 months ago, it was the start of when I came aboard and the start of everything. But it's been a wild and crazy 18 months, obviously, now since this has happened. We were really trending in the right direction. We were going really well, and hopefully we'll get back to there soon. It's just a matter of, keep pushing along. It is summertime. So, it's probably really beneficial for us that this didn't happen in the middle of league season, but we're hoping by September things are at least a somewhat normal state.
Yeah. So in your seat, overseeing these 10 centers during this time, what's been your biggest challenge?
That's a tough question. it's probably just communication, getting everybody on the same page. Previously these centers were operated very autonomously. So getting everybody on the same page, trying to develop that one company, one culture type of mind state. And it's still continuing, but it's something we just got to keep striving for and reinforcing on a daily basis.
Are you missing bowling?
A little bit. It's funny because I had the itch. I haven't had an itch to bowl in a while, but I actually had an itch. I'm like, I kind of want to go throw some. And, now that we've got the centers open, previously I was like, this would be a perfect opportunity to go practice because there's nobody there. But we also stripped all the lanes before we left, and
Right.
the lanes probably hadn't been oiled in months. So I don't know if that would have worked out well. But now they're reopening. Yeah, I should get to practicing a little bit. It's been way too long.
So what capacity are you at right now in your centers?
We literally had our first center just opened a few days ago. So, the governor is saying 25% right now. Hopefully by the end of the month, we'll be at 50%. And with the way demand is pushing right now and people kind of, dipping their toe in the water, it's not like we have to turn people away at this point. So it's going to be a smooth, hopefully, transition back to full capacity for us.
Yeah, and so making this adjustment, you made a decision. You retired, right? and get into and you were in the business world, and so here you are in this environment running bowling centers, and you alluded to it. But what was the driver to say, you know what, I'm hanging up my shoes for now?
For me, it was something a lot of people didn't realize. I was out there for 13 years doing that, which it was a grind. And even though I was a professional for 13 years, I was at St. John's for 4 years, and we were traveling every single weekend. I was playing in, JBTs on the East Coast every single weekend. I just felt like my whole life was living out of a suitcase. And to me, it was time to start a family and plant some roots. And, I didn't want to be in and about and not home ever for that. So started thinking long term, what was the next step? And for me to just go jump into the business world probably wouldn't have made a lot of sense because I wasn't trained in that in any regard. The difference between 2002 when I graduated from St. John's and then coming 13, 14 years later, you don't really develop a lot of skill set. So went back and got my MBA. Got a really good opportunity to go back and get my MBA, and kind of just have been following my opportunities since then.
All right, so take us back to St. John's. So bowling under Wacky is your coach.
You're making me feel old now.
You're not old. Michael, we're not old.
I'm old.
Naz is old too.
I've got a milestone this year. I'm a little scared. I don't know.
Oh, the big 4-0.
Yeah, I know, man.
You're gonna whiz right past
all
it
this
like
hair dye.
Yeah, I've got lots of grays at this point, but it is what it is, right?
Exactly.
All right, so take us back. Your college bowling experience. You guys had some great success. Probably, what would you have considered your most memorable moment or your best? Your best times out bowling for college.
Yeah, we had so much fun out there. It really was kind of a boys' club for us for a while. It was just a lot of fun traveling with those guys. Probably, since we're live at Rabs today, and we're hitting home with the Staten Island community, I got to bring up my old buddy Tim McAuliffe. Because we've got a great story about Timmy from back in the day. We went to one of the Tier 1 events in Chicago, and Timmy could not make a 10-pin that day. He must have missed 4 or 5 10-pins. So me and his good buddy, my good buddy, Andy Lamonto, right when the tournament was wrapping up, he puts his spare ball into the bag. And I said to Andy, I'm like, that thing's not making it home. That thing is not making it home. So this bowling center in Chicago had a lake in front of it. So me and Andy, I'm running with the ball, and Andy is behind me, kind of blocking Tim from getting to me, and I just go shot put that thing right in the lake. I said, "You're not taking this thing home. Go drill a new one so you can make some 10-pins."
He recently
was
had
pretty salty. He was salty.
Yeah,
I'm sure he was.
He's got a different sense of humor. So
and he usually tunes in. So I don't know if he's there today, but his Lori might be tuning in and watching. Poor Timmy had a moment like that this year. In the New Year's Singles Classic. I think he just needed count, right? In the Phil Bowl, he needed count and dump the bowl right in the gutter. I'm pretty sure that bowl might have been thrown in the dumpster on his way out. Poor Timmy. And that's on tape somewhere. We love Timmy.
He took it in stride.
He did.
He
handled
really
it.
Did. We talked to him afterwards, about, how he was mentally and where he was and how something like that happens. And he was really good about it. He's currently a coach for Wagner High School here on Staten Island. And he is phenomenal, just as you would imagine he would be. He's a great coach, and the kids absolutely love him.
That's great to hear. I miss those guys. Yeah, just hey to Timmy, if you're out there watching, or Lori, and it's been too long. We miss you guys.
All right. So if somebody said to you, "Hey, do you know Coach Bill Wacky?" How do you respond to that? How do you respond to that question?
Well, I think if you've ever been in a bowling center, in the greater New York City area, you got to know Wacky, right? I mean, he's not one of those people you meet and then you forget about, right? You meet him and you just like, well, okay. I remember him, sure. I mean, he's been a great support system for so many young bowlers coming up, and obviously was such a great part of me kind of, becoming who I was, and, not just from the coaching standpoint, but, just an overall support system. And he still is when I bump into him at different industry events. So shout out to Wacky as well.
He's awesome. He and he even sent me a text after. He goes, "Well, I could have kept going." Yeah, but no,
we know you could have.
We were already on for an hour.
It's a spin-off show, live from Wacky's.
And he had, and of course, talking about his athletes and the teammates over the years, he mentioned you and a bunch of others, and you can see that he has pride in what has developed over the years.
And he did say also that he felt that the coaching was good, but being able to impart like life lessons to all of you was really important to him. And I told him he did a great job. He really, really did. Everybody, I don't speak to any bowlers who don't show absolute respect for him and everything he's done, and what he meant to you guys. And you were a bit of a rowdy kind of group, if I say so.
College students.
So I know. But
the Timmy story was the tame story. That's how you know that we were a rowdy bunch. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wacky has always done a great job at having, I guess, crossing that line between a really good friend and mentor and being a coach, and kind of playing both roles without being overbearing. So, he's just a great guy.
So All-American in college, and you decide to lace up and throw yourself out on the tour. Were you ready for that? What was the driver behind, hey, I'm going to go play with the big boys. I'm going on tour. And the young guy. No pun intended, but the driver was that I drove back and forth to St. John's for 4 years in a row. And I said, I'm not sitting in this traffic again. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go on tour and just, do something I love for a little while. But to me, it was a huge awakening, because I said, wow, these guys are truly amazing at what they do. And I mean, it took me a while to ramp up. I think I had a little bit of success early, but it was more so dumb luck than anything. So it took me a while to really get in the groove of things and understand the moves. And
anything, it just came with experience and time. It took me a little longer than I wanted to ramp up, but I finally got there and understood what it took to win.
Right.
But, it is something where you think until you're out there, and then you realize how hard it is for these guys.
Yeah. Would you say that, and you had a pretty successful youth bowling career, and so as another turned professional, true product of the youth bowling environment, great success. Do you think that what you've been able to do as a youth bowler prepared you? And I would say, with twofold, who was the guy that you looked up to that was bowling out on tour that kind of that made that a little bit easier for you to go and do it? That made you want to do it, I should say.
Yeah, as I started coming up through St. John's, and playing in more competitive leagues, obviously the junior programs, I was very active in all the JBT tournaments and youth programs and anything they would let me play in. But for the most part, I started making that transition during my time at St. John's. I was heavy into the team, but then when the team wasn't going on playing in any kind of event around the New York City area, it was really formative for me, because I could go and play it was so many events. I mean, we're talking, 2 or 3 tournaments a weekend that you could just bounce around to. Right. But during that time, started practicing a lot after different leagues and tournaments and things like that with Norm Ginsburg, with Patrick Allen, Brian Zizig, a lot of these guys who were best in class and still are in the area. So it's just a matter of me, picking up enough little bit of knowledge from each one of those guys and everybody around me, and then obviously getting into the thick of things and learning how to throw a shot when the pressure was on. I think it gave me enough to go on to get to the tour. And then, you keep that mentality up as you continue on the tour and understand what you need to do to take it to the next level. Because I was in a bit of a rut. I was probably 5 or 6 years into the tour, and I still hadn't won, and I wasn't feeling like I was getting any better. And I had to really reevaluate, recommit myself again to say what's going to get me to the next level, because I'm not happy being number 20.
Middle of the pack, right? So what do you think was the turning point where you felt like, I'm here, I'm as good as these guys?
Yeah, it just came down to some real logical thinking. It was a matter of, I look at the way Chris Barnes bowls, I look at the way I bowl, and to the naked eye, there shouldn't be anything. Shouldn't be a reason why he's so much more successful than I am. I mean, physically we can both do the same thing, but it just comes down to that level of consistency where Chris is making 9.5 or 10 good shots a game, and I'm making 9. And over the course of 50 games, that starts to add up.
Yeah.
So, fine tuning and just, understanding risk and reward to what you're trying to do, and anything that just comes with experience and, knowledge, and not trying to overdo it. Knowing, if you want to use a golf analogy, knowing when to go for it, and, knowing when to lay up, those type of situations.
So what do you think, was your favorite moment on tour? Your favorite moment?
Well, I'll tell you a kind of a favorite moment of mine, and it wasn't necessarily. It was part of the tour, but it wasn't part of the PBA tour. And for me, it kind of was a springboard to the good part of my career. In 2011. We traveled to Thailand and was playing in the World Bowling Tour. And up until this point, I had a little bit of success. I had won my first singles title. I was doing well, but I hadn't really broken out into that really very consistent high performer on a week by week basis. And we're playing in actually on the TV finals. I get up in the 10th frame. I need a strike to win. I just kind of psyched myself up enough to do it, and I threw the shot, and I needed to throw. And for me, it was a kind of just a one shot, but it was a big hurdle for me to get over the hump of, I can step up on TV, I can throw a shot when I need to throw it, and I can have enough confidence in myself to do it. And the very next game, I bowled 300 on TV in front of a live audience, a live television series in the middle of a mall in Bangkok, Thailand. So for me, if I don't get that strike, I don't move on to the next match, and who knows what fizzles. But it gave me enough confidence to step up and say, I got this, and I packed the next 12 shots. And that next year, I won the Bowling Writers Bowler of the Year, because I was just doing a lot of traveling all over the world and winning different events. That was the year that right after that I won the Masters. So it was just kind of this moment that, you know, may not meant much to anybody, but for me, it just kind of got me over the hump.
Yeah, yeah. So many of our other guests had mentioned that when they traveled internationally, that they so enjoyed it. How did you feel about international competition?
I really loved it. It was, you know, it was one of those things where back in like 06, 07, a lot of guys were still just playing in the tour. You know, they would take the summers off, they would play their regionals, maybe go home and, you know, run a pro shop or something. But for me, I didn't have any of that. So I started going over to Europe to play in some events over there in the summer, which their season was more focused on the summer. So I got a good taste of it early on, and then it started to, you know, more guys started to get the word that it was really a lot of fun, and, you know, there was a lot of really good competition, and the world, you know, you'll see it now, obviously, with Belmo and Don Barrett and Martin Larson and all of these guys that have come over to play. It's just, the world is getting a lot better, a lot quicker by access to lane patterns and technology and YouTube videos. And, you know, now I can go online and watch my favorite bowler and just mimic him, which 20 years ago wasn't a thing. So, you know, for me, the memories and doing all that is going to be something I cherish forever.
Favorite place internationally?
I love Tokyo. It's one of my favorite places. It's where I've been the most. I would highly recommend, you know, obviously when things cool down, that people get a chance to go overseas, especially to Asia, because it's a whole nother world. It's New York City on steroids, you know.
That's the theme. Every single player that has traveled internationally, for whether it be Team USA or to go as a profession, it's Japan. Japan is always at the top of the list.
Yeah.
And it's always it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
The culture, the food, the sights. Yeah. You know, the hospitality really that you get there, just it's an incredible experience.
Well, and you had the opportunity to be on Team USA. I mean,
right?
That's got to have its own meaning to you. I could only imagine. And then, of course, standing on the podium wearing that jersey.
It has, yeah. Team USA was also a phenomenal experience, and, you know, something around the same time period when I started with Team USA. That it's funny because I would have never been on Team USA if it wasn't for my wife. Her and I had just started dating, and she said, "I'm going to go out to Team USA trials." And I was supposed to be on a flight back to New York. We had met in her home. She was living in Wichita, Kansas, right after she finished school there. And she said, "Well, why don't you come with me to Vegas and bowl the team trials?" I said, "Okay, let's go." I mean, you know, it's something I'd never been very spontaneous in my life. I was going to go back to New York, but I figured, you know what, let's do it. And I went. I had a great time with her. We're now married with a kid, and I made Team USA, and it kind of snowballed from there. So, you know, Team USA will always, for that reason, and obviously the competition of representing my country and all the things that progressed since then, and traveling, especially to an event called the World Games, which is very synonymous with the Olympics, but for sports that are not included in the Olympics. Being able to communicate and talk to a lot of people who, not just bowlers, but every other sport that goes on in this country and the world, that's maybe not as high profile as swimming or track and field. It was kind of amazing to feel like you were part of something bigger than just bowling.
Right. Wait, so you brought up Emily. Does she have the itch to be bowling?
she did say she would throw a ball. She did actually say, I'll go throw a few. All right. I mean, I think she's going to be, unfortunately not going to women's championship this year. I don't know if it's postponed or just the timing's not right, but we both got kind of postponed from going to nationals this year. So our motivation to get back out and practice has been limited, but I think we gotta get some hand and some balls and at least make sure they still fit.
Right.
Well, that's the biggest thing. I mean, for everybody right now, it's not. This is more than just taking off for the summer, right? Because some people might not even pick up the ball until September, and it's been this long span versus just the 3 months that you would normally bowl.
Yes, the pro shops are going to be busy. There's going to be a lot of tape being sold.
Yes, a lot of tape and a lot of plug work.
All right, so I got two questions, but I don't know where I should go first. I'm going to go with this one. So Dennis, who's watching, is asking a question that our co-host always asks about bowling on tour. But there's always that one person out there that gets in your way. And who was that for you when you were bowling out there? You couldn't break them. You couldn't get past them. The proverbial thorn in your pebble in your shoe. So
really, I had two for a while. I mean, Tommy Jones and Chris Barnes. Let's go with Chris because I got a little bit of vindication against Chris because I was able to beat him in the Masters final the one year. So all the beatings that I took years, I got at least one back. But yeah, I mean, the guy he knows everything. He knows all the moves. He's physically and mentally just top notch and overall sound. And, especially someone who had already experienced all that. He was 10 years older than me. To me, him bowling against me, especially early on in my career, he was licking his chops, but I was out there just kind of grinding and trying to watch what he was doing to learn from him. So, I think those people that end up becoming a thorn in your side, Norm Duke was another one for me. Always kicked my ass, but I learned a lot. I learned a lot from watching him. And I mean, after getting beat by these guys, I would actually just go study some of the videos that they had published and understand like, what are they doing that I'm not doing? And I became a better straight player from watching Norm Duke videos.
That's the analytical person.
I was just going to say that. That's so. How did you pick St. John's to attend?
It's funny. I pretty much knew I was going to go to St. John's in 9th grade. I mean, I was bowling at. I always dreamed about being a St. John's bowler. I pretty much knew it from straight away. I actually only applied to one college, so I toyed around with going to some other schools, going away to college, but ultimately I pretty much knew from early on I was going to St. John's. I grew up bowling with, not bowling with, but being mentored by the Lizzo brothers out on Long Island, Jim and Jeff Lizzo. I worked in their pro shops. They were alumni. So I think they, dropped the seed pretty early to get me to go to St. John's, and obviously, renowned financial program there. So I was really excited about digging into that further and understanding it. But being a Long Island boy and then kind of coming into the big city to go to college was also something that I think anybody would relish and dream of. So for me, it was something early on I knew about. I knew that I wanted to do, and it had everything that I could ever dreamed of.
So you went to the Manhattan. You spent most of your time at the Manhattan campus?
No, I mean I was in Queens, but it was still like something. Yeah, to get into this city-ish closest. I know the city is Manhattan. I'm losing my lingo after being away so long.
No, you're good. I mean, it's funny. I usually correct people when they say, "Oh, we're going to the city." You're going to Manhattan. You are in the city,
right?
We are in the city. You're just going to Manhattan. Oh yeah, but you automatically, to your point, everybody assumes that I did the same thing to myself. So I don't know. All right. Hey, you mentioned somebody being salty, and I hate to put salt in wounds, but I have to.
He has to do it.
You've had some great moments. And I really want to know about this one. So I'm gonna
backstory.
I'm gonna show a clip
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you have to know. I mean, come on. So I want you to take us back to this. I want you to take us back to this moment.
Strike, claim it. Strike, claim it.
But wait a second. Wait. I got to play the rest of it, but I want to go back. Wait. I want Michael's face. Okay? Michael's face. All right, just the rest of the clip.
Who do you think you are?
And the crazy part about that moment, it's one of the most talked about moments.
It definitely is
in bowling history. But now take us through that, because it's unexplainable.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, I think when you're there, boots on the ground, and you're watching that unfold, you would have never. First off, you can't really hear what he's saying because the crowd is loud, and the microphone's picking up what he's saying. So, yeah, I had no idea what he was saying or anything like that, and obviously I had no idea that this was going to become a viral moment or anything like that. Because Pete has done that before, right? Pete, not in those words, but Pete is he's gonna let you have it when he beats you. So that's nothing. That was nothing new for us. But I mean, I threw all 3 strikes in the 10th there to force him to do that. Even sitting there in that chair watching him throw the last shot, I was still confident that I was going to get a chance to go through a roll off. I was still kind of keeping that mental drive to get up and throw the next shot, because I'm gonna have a roll off here. Obviously, it didn't happen, but it's amazing to hear some of the stories of people that I meet who either one knew nothing about bowling but learned about bowling through that video. I had people come up to me during my MBA program and said, "Oh, I heard you were a bowler. Have you ever seen that one video of the guy who flipped out?" Yeah, I saw that one pretty close up. Had a good seat for that.
So when you now heard what he said, now what really went through your minds?
Pete, and I think all of us in those worlds, especially, I mean, I did the same thing when I was kind of going through the Masters. It's like, I have to find this motivation. And to me, I learned that aggression is going to trump fear. So if you let that fear creep in, you're never going to win. So getting really aggressive and hyped up, especially in a situation where you can throw the ball hard or do something where the aggression is not going to hurt you, it's going to always kind of keep that mental intensity going. And Pete's the best at that. He's somebody that, whether that person in the audience was there or not, I don't know. And but I guess it doesn't matter, because he found the motivation to make himself hyped up. Because I mean, I've kind of gone through that many times, that video, especially with my therapists and everything. But there's so many opportunities in that match for me to just kind of shut the door. Couple 10 pins in the middle here and there, and it could have been a runaway for me. But he wasn't really even in the match with 5 frames to go. So he found the motivation to throw a couple strikes in a row, a triple, I believe, in the middle there, and he came up on top. And it's unfortunate that I'm not going to probably win a U.S. Open in my life, but at the same time, it's cool to look back and just see some of the things that I got to live through and have fun with.
Yeah. So, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's a huge learning moment, right? So what you're saying, you pulled so much out of that moment alone, let alone leading up to it.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. I mean, Pete, obviously one of the all-time greats. So, he's always going to find a way, and he's done it for, decades. But, for me, coming up and being in that situation where I'm new to this is my first title match of the U.S. Open. I'm still going to say I bowled a better game than him. I did. I mean, but they just didn't fall for me, and one pin was the difference. So it's just a matter of, you get there enough times, you keep that intensity up, and eventually the titles are going to happen.
All right, so flip the script. A time where that was you. I mean, you obviously don't speak like that and do what he does, but you do get excited on the lanes. I mean, you're an intense competitor, and you do have some flair, which is awesome.
Right.
And that's made you successful too. But put yourself now, flip the script. What was that moment for you that you were Pete?
Well, I mean, that's a good question. I'll bring it all the way back when, since we're in New York and talking right now, the Verapopoulos Classic, I need all 3 in the 10th to win by a pin over Tom Smallwood, who I think was the 2-time defending champion at that point. He pretty much dominated that event. I got a little bit lucky on the first shot and kind of tripped the 4-pin and came back and flushed the next 2 to win the title by 1. And I mean, I think we were bowling on lane like 27 and 8, and I just went running, screaming and yelling, going to the wall. And so listen, I mean, if you're not getting excited by those moments, you're in the wrong sport. That's what you've got to dream about when you're practicing is I need all 3 in the 10th to win by a pin, and I'm going to step up and I'm going to do this. And my good friend Bill O'Neill did it this year for a major. It was super exciting to watch him on TV win by 1 pin, I think it was double 9 in the 10th frame. But I mean, especially when you're talking about these hot lights, big crowds, and just overcoming all of that to say, I'm going to get in my zone here and I'm not going to let anything bother me and I'm going to overcome.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Going back, back. I do have a question. You were one of the first bowlers that I've ever seen launch it over the gutter cap. So how does that happen? How do you go, you know what? I think I can do this. And then how do you proceed to learn to do that consistently?
I guess oil prices were pretty high in the 90s because I had to learn on no oil at all. I mean, we were just bowling on, especially in college, but I mean, even before that, growing up on Long Island, I mean, we would bowl all day, all night. Maybe they didn't oil every single day. It was one of those situations where if you wanted to compete or if you wanted to learn how to actually strike on some of these really dirt conditions, you ended up running out of room pretty quickly. And for me, it was something that I kind of picked up on pretty naturally. I was always lofting it slightly anyway. So, I mean, for me, it wasn't a big deal to get the ball over a few feet of gutter cap. Obviously, like down the road and during the tour when you got U.S. Open conditions and the lanes got extremely unplayable and dry, did it get absurd? But, that's when your shoulder starts cricking like mine is right now. I don't know if you can hear that in the microphone. But, yeah, exactly. So, but, I mean, you end up becoming a product of your environment. You learn from being able to overcome some of these situations. And, I never had to learn how to become a straight player growing up, but the environment of the tour made me become a straight player. So it kind of came full circle. Where later on in my career, I didn't want to do that because Belmo was so much better at it than I was, and he could do it so much effortlessly than I could that it was almost disheartening. And I thought I was good at it.
So as a bowling proprietor, how do you feel about people loafing the gutter caps?
That was my next question.
You roll that thing. Roll it. Don't come in the air with that. Come on, man.
However, I do know, and for purists, that you and Robbie Spigner is, I'm sure, lane conditions won't be anything like that in your centers.
No, we've got some state-of-the-art equipment. We're right before the shutdown. We were talking about when we're going to buy our next oil machine, and so yeah, we're always making sure that we've got a very high standard of play in our environments, and we're always bidding for state tournaments, city tournaments, local events, and things like that. So always top of mind, good conditions. Don't be worried, competitors.
Different appreciation for sure.
Definitely, yes.
And I'm not insinuating that Mike at all is disrespectful.
No.
It's a different perspective these days when
it
you're
absolutely
you're
is.
sitting in a room and going, wait a second, this is now the bowling centers we own and operate and run. And so what do we want for the customer experience? And you draw from your own. So that's really cool.
The lanes can be very hard and playable without having to be lofted 25 feet down the lane. But I mean, to be fair, it's amazing what the conditions on the tour get like. And I mean, if you don't know how to do all that, you're at a serious disadvantage. So it is a bit of a double-edged sword. But maybe all that free practice we try to give the upcoming professionals, we can one day hand them a bill for the lane panels being dented.
It's funny you talk about that. These were installed in 97, 98, and we've gone through a flattening process, and it's amazing what you learn through that. And then through that process, we also cracked lane 14, and it had to be replaced. And it's amazing when you pull these, when you pull the panels up, how warped they are over time from just being screwed down. And so they're flat. They're very flat today, but it's just amazing. You just have really a different perspective when you're looking at it. Now you're being forced to look at it in a different way. So, anyway, I can talk that. We can talk about
standing, as a pro bowler, the biggest thing I had to worry about with the machines and the lanes were how are the lanes playing? Is there a 180? Is the head pin off spot?
Right.
But now, I mean, that's nothing compared to all the different trials and tribulations of running bowling centers and trying to make them better each and every day.
Sure. Well, welcome to the business.
Thank you,
Mike. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and dropping in today.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure. Good luck with everything. Good luck with the reopening process.
You
and
too.
We're wishing you all the best out there.
Thank you. Same to you. Stay healthy and give Emily a hug, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Naz.
Have a good
one.
Bye. Mike Fagan, everybody.
Great.
He's awesome.
He is. He's grown up. He's grown up.
Yeah, a smart dude, and I have to say, him and watching what's happening in their businesses, and him and Robbie working together.
That's a big investment.
Yeah, it's not one center.
No, 10,
which and these were centers that they were perfect. I mean, you spend a lot of time, and Michael's financial background certainly helps that decision process. And they're doing a really good job.
Even going back, he was always really analytical, and which obviously you can tell by some of his comments during the interview. But I remember seeing him when he was a young kid and being amazed.
Little boyness.
Yeah, well, he wasn't a little boy, but he was young and, knew that he was a step above pretty much everybody else. And that, he was destined for wonderful things. And he definitely proved that. And now he's proving even more.
Yeah, meeting him through bowling, of course, in the area, and then bowling ourselves, had the opportunity to sit with Mike on the USBC board.
That's right. He was on the USBC
for a little
board
while,
also, right?
and that experience for him was, and I didn't get a chance to ask him about his volunteer experience, but certainly if you talk to him about it, certainly very, very different for a player to enter that space. Wendy Mack talked about it, and really, I think a lot of them feel the same way.
I think their perspective
brought
is
so
wonderful.
much to that group.
Right.
But at the same time, hey, I can't continue something. I want to start my family. I want to go. And here we are today, and it's awesome. So thanks again, Mike.
There were many who thought he might never get to that point.
I mean, we're all kids, right?
He met the right girl, I guess.
She's great. Emily's great, and the little one is really cute. Hey, so John Cento is asking about our reopening. So, we know that a lot of conversations about the tri-state area states working together. And while that seemed like a wonderful plan
at the beginning, it was wonderful.
It's not happening. So, John, as you may know, things haven't changed here in New York City. We are, bowling alleys, as the state calls us, and along with other entertainment venues are in phase 4. So if all goes well,
middle of July,
July 20th would be the official open date. That's if all goes well. And over the next few weeks.
And it looks like the first 2 weeks
I don't
want
to jinx it. I don't want to put any bad juju in the universe.
No. We're going to put all good out. All good.
That's potentially our reopen time. Again, we don't know. We're
just
assuming
please,
Monday.
People, wear your masks when you go out.
Yeah, please. I have, you know what? I'm not going to rant, but today again,
I had
a Starbucks experience, and I'm standing there, and people are just. I know you're going to just pick up something off a table, or somebody's going to hand you something, but you see there's people around, and I wait in my car before getting out. I wait for the little thing to say your order's ready, and I was picking up multiple things. So they clicked it, and I wasn't ready, which is fine. So I'm standing there, and these people, like, no regard for their surrounding at all. And then the one guy, I don't use my mobile phone. Can I place an order inside? And they're doing that a little bit, but he had no mask on. Sir, do you have a mask? Oh, yeah, it's in my car.
Well, you should go get it.
You know you're going to have to go in somewhere.
Right.
Come on, people. We're not asking much. And covering your nose and mouth are the requirements for the mask.
It's not a chin strap.
It's not a chin strap. It's not covering your mouth. Or here. Just put it on just for your well-being and everybody else's well-being. So, John, we're hoping the sooner the better, and all goes well. Monday, restaurants, outdoor dining. You can officially go to the barber, the salon to get your hair did. You can't get your toes or your nails did.
That's okay. That can
or
wait.
Your upper lip waxed if you need a wax job.
Well, hopefully,
or eyebrows threaded. You can't do any of that.
If you need that.
Maybe by now you did it at home.
You can figure it out at home. You can figure it out.
You certainly can. So we're all excited. Oh, Alexa had something to tell us. I don't want to ask her to play the notification.
No, because it could be anything.
What it is. Anyway, so we're just excited.
Wear your masks. Let's keep charging down the mountain, as Cuomo likes to call it.
Well, today is the last.
His last update.
His last daily update.
Yes.
So we know. Listen, Naz, there's no way our governor's not going to make appearances.
There were many very funny TikTok videos last night about people being sad about it being his last update. Yeah. Yes.
We know he'll be back, but today is his last official coronavirus daily update. The president had stopped that over a week ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah, a while more than that.
The mayor is still doing. He's not daily either.
He's mostly daily.
Yeah, but he's usually. He does regular updates before this anyway.
Right, and he's got other things kind of mixed in with it too. So.
And he's on Staten Island today, if anybody cares to go visit the mayor. So, hey, we've been meme of the day. This is a little follow up from yesterday's meme from the Lemons theme.
Life gives you lemonades?
Yeah. This is false advertising.
Very funny.
And Naz, I do have 2 memes today.
Because you like the memes.
Yeah, I happen to like the
You're in a meme role.
I am, but this one is just because, we showed the clip.
Who do you think you are? So yeah,
just a little reminder.
So what is the where did that come from? Did somebody say that in an article or something?
He said it.
No. I know he said it. No, but did he say it in response to?
No, I don't.
He just said it.
I don't know. He was in a. I remember watching that live.
I remember.
And I was like, it was. I have to say, it was exciting to watch. I felt bad for Michael,
but you know what?
Mike really alluded to that and talked about that experience.
Yeah,
he's great, and you something you can do. And really, he had it. He finished the game. He finished well. Nobody really thought Pete could catch up. But again, at the same time, he's Pete Weber. It's Pete Weber. That's right. If a fan was noisy and he was interacting with a fan.
That's what I thought it was.
So right. There was somebody in the. It wasn't a bottle crunching.
No. It's called Monty.
That's right. Thank you, guys.
So yes. So it just seems like such a random thing to say out of nowhere.
Yeah, but
that I felt
still
like
doesn't make sense.
It still doesn't make sense. But a fan probably said, "Who do you think you are?"
maybe. Who do you think you are? I am. I mean,
Right.
it just makes no sense.
It's clever.
Yes.
I think it's listen. It is definitely a viral moment in bowling that even Michael said that people have approached him about. You know, he was just so wrapped up in it. You listen, he's an emotional guy anyway. So you know, he just probably just so caught up in actually striking out to win, which is a lot.
He definitely is nuts. And, you know, but it made for good TV. The cool part about
did.
that, I have to say, it was around the horn, the best moments, top tip, worst
it was
moments, everywhere. And they were talking, and to me, all press is good
How
press.
many memes got made out of that?
The PBA really got a chance to ride that story and that experience. I mean, it was great. It's just one of those classic moments. Every sport has some crazy things. That's one of ours, and but it's nice to hear the other side.
Yeah.
I stopped on Michael's face when he was like sitting there just thinking.
To sit and watch that play out in front of you, against you, is interesting.
Yeah. But oh, it's Friday, which means tomorrow
is
Friday. It's bingo
As
Friday.
Chrissy likes to call it. Yeah.
Tomorrow is Saturday, but before Saturday, tonight is bingo.
Bingo.
So for those that know that we talk about this all week, but a little commercial. If you're sitting home, you want something to do, join us for a virtual bingo night. We give away lots of prizes, a guaranteed jackpot prize tonight, a minimum of $500.
500 small.
Just for the
last game.
Full card last game,
Full
but there's
card.
also a money raffle. We have some fun. We give away lots of prizes. We had some big winners. So sinorthrotary.org/bingo. This set gets turned into a bingo hall.
Yeah.
And Naz goes home to play, and Christine Dehart joins me in the
my
studio.
family time.
So come on down and play bingo with
Buy
us.
some bingo.
While you're
Buy
still
some bingo
cooped up.
cards. Buy some spots on the wheel.
No whammies.
No whammies. No whammies.
I can't make promises, but no whammies. So tomorrow, Saturday, Joe Cal joined us in the studio, and we've got PBA champion Andrew Anderson, one of the young guys, joining us.
Oh, this is wonderful.
So we're kind of there's been a theme in the last few weeks. We've had some of the younger generation of players. So Andrew Anderson is going to join us tomorrow on our show.
That should be fun.
Yeah. If you watch any of his interviews and stuff, he's like Mike. He's got a headset, and he's got that cool gamer voice because the way that the
he doesn't morph his voice, does he?
It's just the way that those microphones. I think I hate my voice on the phone or listening to it here. If I ever go back and listen to it, I think we should get headsets, and it could. Like,
I'm all for that.
Filter our voices.
I could sound like a robot.
Joe Bruno he's all right. We have to check in with Joe Bruno. We're gonna have to have him
funny?
call in
check
in on us.
I passed a little construction site on the way here, and I saw Joe Bruno's trucks, and I was like, Joe Bruno, where's he been? So,
we have to get him on the horn and have him check in with us.
Yeah,
maybe he'll be allowed in the studio.
Maybe he'll call in. Maybe he'll call. We'll even have
at least get him to call.
Yeah. He's a busy guy, though.
And then Sunday, Naz, we get a break.
It's Father's Day on Sunday.
It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Yeah, it's not.
We didn't wish
as much
Mike
fun.
Happy Father's Day.
It's not as much.
I missed that opportunity. Yeah. It's a holiday that I can give two craps about.
But I mean, it's not as much fun as when you say Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. It's funny.
Your fajas.
So Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
All you mothers.
To all the dads. To all you mothers. There you go.
I like it.
To all the dads.
So we're gonna
It's a little bit of a melancholy day for me, a little bit.
Yeah,
But just the morning tends to be a little. I like to sit and think about my dad a little bit.
we're gonna have some rain tomorrow, which would be bowling weather.
Yeah.
Sunday there was supposed to be rain, but now it looks like it's opening up.
Oh.
So I mean, we get a day off, and I'm hoping that it's a nice day off.
It would be nice if it is.
It'd be a nice day off, celebrating Father's Day with my brother, who's a dad, and my sister-in-law's dad, good old Papa Joe.
Oh, so you're having a little thing, a little soiree.
Fran is having us over for Father's Day dinner.
Very nice.
So yeah, just us. I mean, just us. Just you know, I'm usually. I have to say, she says to me, "Oh," I said, "So what are you doing for Father's Day?" She goes, "Oh, we'll come to my house." Perfect. I know we listen. I don't mind hosting. We really don't. We like to do that, but we've hosted the last few weekends.
Right.
So fine. And then we started talking, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm not usually around for Father's Day," and it just happened to be. And so I went back in my calendar. 3 years in a row, I wasn't home.
Away.
It was Bowl Expo. Bowl Expo started on the Monday after Father's Day.
So you're right.
So my meetings, I would be traveling for meetings on Saturday.
Before.
And so coming in, so I was never really home. It didn't bother. Listen, it doesn't matter to me.
Correct. Correct.
I don't have a father here to celebrate. I mean, I have great memories, and I do celebrate
with your father, no matter where he is.
I do. I celebrate every day, and I also curse him at the same time. Dad, really, what did you do to me? But love
He's making you stronger.
He's making you stronger. But yeah, it just doesn't. It doesn't have the same.
No, you're right.
And then my brother Anthony says, he goes, "I'm never home for Father's Day either," and he never is. Like I think he makes a point to go to Pete Town or to go with friends somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean, he's never around. So he's like, "So what do we do on Father's Day?
Do we celebrate this holiday?"
Yeah,
I could actually.
If it was up to me, I wouldn't celebrate. There's no reason to celebrate. It's just another day.
But for your brother, who's a dad.
My brother, he's a dad. So Sunday, Father's Day, we're going to kick off. So the week, we've got a bunch of guests this week, all lined up. We're going to talk some more bowling, our community, food.
Always the food.
But kicking off the week, our friend Diane, I always get this wrong, Boglioli.
Boglioli.
Yes, from a very special place.
Very special place.
One of the founders. She's going to come on and talk to us. They have their golf outing slated for August, which is their biggest fundraiser of the. I mean, it's really their only fundraiser. Yeah, and it's one of Staten Island's. If it's one of the bigger golf outings. Yeah. Besides the Siller event, I mean, those are the two big outings, and so she's going to be on with us Monday. Talk about a very special place.
We're right behind them.
Oh no, we're right there. I mean, there's no argument about our outing. I was just trying not to make it about us. We make it about us every day.
So you leave that up to me. I'll make it.
Yeah. Gary Brown, the International Youth Bowling Development Team Managing Director. He's going to be with us. So we'll talk college bowling and youth bowling with Gary.
That's exciting.
We were talking with Wacky last week, and so we said, why don't we get Gary on the show?
Ask Gary?
Gary's going to come on the show. Perfect. We'll talk food. And we're also going to talk some hospitality. Christine Garlisi from the Hilton Garden is going to join us and talk a little bit about what's going on in South Avenue, because there's a lot happening down there.
There always is.
With Team the Coacher, I'll call them.
Yeah.
So we got a lot going on this week. Yeah. And before you know it,
it'll be 100.
I can't wait this week to talk about my first New York City outdoor dining experience.
Where you going?
I don't know yet. I just can't wait to talk about it.
Oh, okay. I understand.
I'm not sure where it is, what it is.
Okay.
We have a couple of invitations. Decide we have to pick and choose.
Okay. All right.
We'll see.
I would like us to do something together.
We need to.
It would be nice. Yeah.
Maybe we could do a show from a
We could do a little remote.
We could do a little remote. I like it. Maybe we'll just move Live from Rabs to a restaurant this week. Why not?
I think
we'll
that
go out
works.
for lunch. We go out for lunch and dinner. Just stay there. Just hang out all day. I'm not sure how much we'll drink, but you never know. So tomorrow, join us again for Pro Bowler Saturday. Yep. Co-host Joe Cal back in the studio.
Can't wait for Joe.
And Andrew Anderson. And then a whole new week.
Starts over again.
Of Live from Rabs. We're going to hit episode 90 this week, Naz. 90. By midweek, by hump day, we'll hit episode 90. Insanity. Absolute insanity.
It is.
We thought we'd get to 30. Maybe. Well, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, smash the like button.
because it's easy to do that.
Yes, it is. It's easy. And yeah,
Wash your hands.
share us.
Wear your mask.
Yeah, don't touch
Stay
your
out of
face.
people's personal spaces.
Yeah. Do all the things. Let's keep going on the right path. But Staten Island's doing a really good job right now. Let's continue forth.
Yes. Stay safe. Stay healthy.
Yes.
We'll be back at it tomorrow. Come and join us every day until further notice.
Until-
6 days a week, 2 p.m.
Right
live.
here.
Frank Naz, sometimes Joe,
Sometimes Joe.
and whoever is going to join us.
Whoever else.
We'll see you tomorrow.
That was awesome.